most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How are you doing on this beautiful Monday evening, my guy?
Let's go. Doing fantastic, my brother. It's a birthday week. Vibes are high, and I'm just riding the high of these fights, man. It was a great weekend. Hope the same to you, my brother, and hope all of you had a good one as well. Trickling in the chat, we see you. Comments. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Now that is out the way, I'm ready to go, baby. Let's do it.
Let's get it. So with that, we'll do it the same way we have been this last handful of fight cards. We're going to start at the top, work our way down the fight card, and then at the end of the show, if you stick around and maybe if you pay attention throughout the show, we will let you know which of our bets, if any, cashed in big. And spoiler alert, they did. So pay attention at the end, folks. We will definitely be going through them. But first, we have a main event to talk about here in the welterweight division between Gabriel Bonfim and Randy Rude Boy Brown. Oh, I'm sad. I'm just going to call a spade here, man. Gabriel Bonfim was throwing everything and the kitchen sink. We've all heard the expression, everything but the kitchen sink. This young man was throwing everything and the kitchen sink. Like, even when he saw that Randy had his guard up heftily, he was slugging hooks in. He's like, I don't care if I hit his forearm. I'm going to hurt his forearm. I'm going to make him regret guarding his face and rather take the hit somewhere else, anywhere else than where he is getting hit. And the leg kicks, my fucking goodness, brother. The leg kicks were adding up so quick. I like to call those stacking pennies for a rainy day. This guy was stacking $100 bills for a rainy day every time he landed one of those, though, brother. It was nasty work. And you could tell that Randy Brown was walking gingerly on that leg after the first 5 or 6 landed in that very first round. Now, make no mistake, the fight only went 2 rounds, right? 1 minute and 40 seconds into the second round is when this one was called off. But the first round was just telling of what we were going to see for the remainder of the fight, right? Gabriel Bonfim seemed to be a step ahead. I will say Randy Brown had what I thought he'd have an advantage. He had speed and he had footwork. That doesn't mean anything when you're eating bombs over and over again. And if they weren't coming up top, they were coming down below. So it was tough, and it was hard to watch as a Randy Brown fan. He'll obviously bounce back. He's now 20-7, which, not great for his professional record. Gabriel Bonfim improves to 19-1. Very impressive for his professional record. I think it's very safe to say that Gabriel is the better Bonfim brother, right? He's younger, he has a higher ceiling, more upside, and less holes, right? And we'll get into Ishmael a little bit later. But as I pour up my shot, because I got this one wrong, Nano, holy smokes, man! What were your thoughts on this performance, and what stood out to you the most?
Yeah, I think it was the leg kicks that was the end-all, be-all here for Gabriel Bonfim. That was obviously part of the game plan, was to neutralize the guy that is in front of you, that is bigger, stronger, and I believe typically faster. But, man, I felt like Gabriel was really letting them rip. He had some speed as well. He was able to land and shock Randy Rude Boy Brown. But it was the leg kicks, man. The calf kicks on Randy's front leg, I think it was 19 out of 21 of his strikes in that first round were all leg kicks. That absolutely neutralized Rude Boy. And Rude Boy loves the move. He loves to stay at distance, and he loves to get active, but really was not able to land significantly enough, though. The striking differential, I think, Gabriel might have landed one more strike. It was like 35-34. So Rude Boy did have his moments, but it just felt like any momentum he started to get in that first and second round, Gabriel had an answer for him. And that's where, like you mentioned, as far as the two Bonfim brothers are concerned, Big Bro definitely has the better skill set. He's trending in the right direction, and he's not making those mistakes in there. And he's not gassing out either, which we'll get to in a second. But, yeah, Gabriel went out there, earned it. I thought the stoppage was fair. I know Randy Rude Boy didn't love it, but just seeing the damage that he took and how he was knocked out, his hands were completely exposed. If Gabriel Bonfim did not fall himself, I think it was only going to be a matter of time. He's only going to land a few more shots there.
Yeah, when it connected, I thought it was a double knockout. I don't know if you were confused at all when you saw it live, but like before they showed the replay, I was like, oh my God, did he get rocked by something? But the momentum he threw pushed himself back. Like, that was nasty power, bro.
I mean, you want to talk about putting everything in it. That was everything he had into that knee. It was well timed, right on the chin. Yeah, I thought he fell, and I thought they both fell though. I didn't think Randy was out until you see his hands, you see the ref jump on him, and then obviously the quick protest, which is fair. But then he's even getting up and he's wobbly again. He basically got a leg chopped off during that fight. So I really, even if it were to keep going, it just felt like it was Gabriel's night. The game plan, he executed it. He stayed smart. He found his range early. And I do think the speed of Gabriel, I mean, the ability to land that shot, Randy was not prepared for it. Like, sometimes you just got to tip the cap, man. It's an unforgiving sport. And, you know, we could love these guys and idolize them and root for them. But our fandom doesn't guarantee a win. They still got to go out there and lace them up. And Gabriel is definitely trending in the right direction. He's currently ranked 14th. So he's got the number next to his name. And I think that is definitely well deserving. And he did enter the chat, man. He put himself in a spot where he probably can get a bout with one of these top 10 guys. Maybe worst case scenario, Gilbert Burns, who still needs a dance partner. I don't know if he's
got to fight up, in my opinion, man. He deserves somebody that's definitely top 10 at this point.
I agree. And there's only so many people. Carlos Prata is going to need a dance partner. Joaquin Buckley has.
Carlos is actually scheduled for November 15th against Leon.
Oh, shoot.
It's fight in 5 days.
Here we go. That's
him and Leon. So they're booked up. I think the only options we really have are Kamaruddin Usman, right? Marty from Nebraska. Yep. Joaquin Buckley, who's coming off of a loss, and Jeff Hands of Steel Neal. And if you want to get a little bit rich for the blood here, I mean, this is a real spectacle fight, in my opinion. It is maybe a little bit too soon, right? But we haven't seen Shavkat in there in a very long time. Right, it's been over a year at this point since we've seen Shavkat Rakhmonov in there. He's 19-0. Gabriel Bonfim is 19-1. Does he make the undefeated Shavkat Rakhmonov leave with the same record as him, or swap records rather, and get that 20? I think that's a fun fight. But if I'm being completely honest, the one that I'm kind of chomping at the bit for, as the kids say, is him versus Joaquin Numanza Buckley. I just think that fight has nothing but excitement written all over it.
I agree. I think that's the right pick as well. Just in terms of timing, in terms of where he's at in the rankings. Coming off a loss probably means you got to fight down, beat another ranked opponent to climb back up. That's a moneymaker right there. I'm sure that'll headline a fight night here early 2026, if I had to guess, or at least hope. But that's a good one. I agree.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I've got my shot poured up. I got this one wrong, so cheers to you. If you're drinking, drink with us. If not, that's fine too.
Salute. We're here with you, Rude Boy. If anyone can bounce back, it's going to be Rude Boy. We know that.
I know that.
You know that.
With that being said, we move into another sad one. We had Matt Danger Schnell coming out here against Joseph Morales in the flyweight division. I'll let Nano take the lead on the breakdown. What stood out to you in the 2 minutes and 54 seconds that this lasted, aside from the 6-7 celebration from Joseph Morales?
The 6-7 definitely was a fun one. You know, Sacramento, he wanted us to stand up. I'll stand up with you, Joseph. I see you, brother. Hell of a win, putting on for Sac and Team Alpha Male. Man, the tail of the tape here, I mean, Matt Schnell dominated the center of the octagon. He was aggressive. And just like most of his fights, man, he looks great until he just doesn't, right? He got the takedown, looked good, looked violent, but Joseph Morales is so slick on the ground, man. I mean, the way he was able to get taken down, was totally comfortable with it, got the reversal, got him into a crucifix, very sneakily got the leg underneath the arm, trapped him, isolated the other arm with his upper body. Next thing you know, Matt Schnell was in uh-oh-ville. Didn't take too much damage. Joseph was smart, but it's a chess game, and unfortunately he put his king in the wrong spot, and Joseph Morales was able to get the job done. He slipped right into that was it guillotine?
Guillotine, mounted guillotine.
Slipped right into it.
Bottom mount guillotine.
Bottom mount guillotine, and it was locked in from the jump. I mean, he fell right into that Venus flytrap and was not able to get out.
The commentary said it as soon as that wrist went under, and I saw it too. I was like, oh, the blade is literally up against the side of his throat.
Yeah. And that's textbook. Joseph Morales obviously likes that position, and he's slick on the ground. Would have loved to see more stand up. I think that would have gave us a better bout here for the co-main event. I think that definitely would have leaned for Matt Schnell, but man, Joseph Morales is legit. A boomerang here. He fought in the UFC 7 years ago, came back through the Dana White Contender Series, won, did the improbable. Now he went out there on a co-main event, got a submission victory. Hopefully earned himself $50K as well. If not, I mean, man, got to tip the cap to having that kind of dominant win in that kind of stage, on that kind of night. All we could do is, like I said, tip the cap to Joseph Morales. You're in the fan in me. Not that I wasn't before, but we're Matt Schnell guys. Like, we call it what it is. We like his fighting style. We love his aggression. And unfortunately, sometimes you make a mistake on the ground and you get caught up. That's what happens. What up, WMC? We see you. Schnell got wrecked. You right.
Unfortunately, he did. WMC. Rob Rex, let's go, brother.
Rob.
Let's fucking go. It's the MVPs. I'm glad to be home and off of work and warm watching the boys. You know what? I'll do a shot with you guys. Let's go. Thanks again for the entertainment. We got the Super Bowl of MMA this weekend. Let's fucking go, bro.
We really do. Can't wait to see you later in the week. Let's break it down with this, man. It's gonna be a banger.
Gosh. It is going to be an absolute banger, and I think that's the best way to say it, man. It's the Super Bowl of MMA.
It really is, man. 'Tis the season, baby. Oh, perfect song.
Can't play too much of it. I don't want to get the strike. We do not own the rights to that. That one belongs to CBS. With that being said, folks, man, this fight, as you said, I mean, like there's not a lot of meat left on the bone after that breakdown. Joseph Morales did what he needed to do. He's a beast. He got the dub, and Matt actually looked really good on the feet. The worst thing about this loss for me, in my opinion, is the fact that Matt initiated the grappling exchange. Like, right, he shot the takedown. He got the takedown. But it's because Joseph was like, oh shit, he wants to take me down? Sweet. And then from there, it was just bad news bears. The transitions were slick and just smoother than butter. And the way that he sliced through Matt Schnell's guard and transitioned into the positions he wanted to be in was like a hot knife through butter. It might truly be time for Matt Schnell to hang him up or do like a celebrity boxing thing or something. I don't know, man. But UFC is maybe outside of the wheelhouse for him these days. Joseph Morales, though, I'm not sure. Do you have a name on the tip of your tongue as to what you think should be next for the young man?
Man, he definitely entered the chat as far as the top contenders go here in the flyweight division. I don't think he should necessarily get rewarded with a top 15er. Might need to see a little bit more. And so as I'm looking at people that are ranked above Joseph Morales, who's currently sitting in 27 on the Tapology rankings, which I use as my biblical source here, man, look no further than the pastor. I like a Jafel Filo, not necessarily stylistically for a Joseph Morales. That is as tough as it gets, but that is the right level of competition I do think is next. He did fight against a Figgy way back in the day. Figgy, can't you see? Why not throw him in there with another Brazilian who's absolute stud, trending in the right direction, and both will be looking to potentially get that top 15er next. Really like that name. Both coming off wins, which is why I went a little bit higher than maybe a Loner Kavanaugh or some other names that are there, but coming off a TKO loss. I'd like to see two guys that are winning, trending up. Jafel, give me the pastor on this one, brother. That's my pick. What about you, brother? How you feeling? What do you think is next for Mr. Morales?
I'm not going to lie. I didn't have the passer on my list, but I do really love that name. The two names that I had top of mind were Loner Kavanaugh, coming off a TKO loss recently. I think he needs to get into the bounce back column. He's sitting ahead of the young man we're talking about at 22 on Tapology, our trusted MMA kind of resource. And outside of that, I mean, if you want to get a little bit richer, I know he just pulled out of a fight due to injury, but I don't know the extent or how extensive that injury is. If it's not a long, lingering injury, give me a very active fighter who's already fought twice this year and was supposed to be slated to fight this past weekend. Look no further than Rafael Mecapa Estevam. I think that'd be an absolute banger as well, if I'm being honest. Like Joseph Morales versus Estevam, if he gets past him, there's no denying that he deserves a top 15 at that point too.
You're absolutely right. I like that as well. I like it. You're not alone on that loner pick.
Let's go.
You're wrong either way. Come on.
And with that, I was wrong on this next pick. My God, was I wrong. I said Uros the Doc Medic keeps his head on the center line. He's very linear and not a lateral movement guy. And that Muslim Salikov cuts good angles. But it's hard to cut angles when a guy blitzes you for all 63 seconds that the fucking fight lasts. This was a tough one, bro. Like, Muslim got just fucking blasted. He got blitzed. He got hammered forward. And, I mean, there's not much else to it, right? Like, he just got swarmed by Uros the Doc Medic and did not seem to have an answer. And the straight left hand just landed colossally hard, blasting him to the ground. And he followed up with a handful of grounded punches that inevitably sealed the deal. I'm going to pour up my second to last shot here because I got a lot more of them right moving after this one. But, you know what I'm saying? I hit like the first, I think, 6 fights or 5 fights. And we also hit pretty big on our over-unders parlay, which we will definitely get into a little bit later, folks. So, as I pass it to Nano, cheers to you, cheers to us, cheers to all the fuss and the muss. If you're drinking, please raise up your cups. And if not, that's fine too. Just make sure you hit the like, comment, subscribe, and smash that bell for notifications. We appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Salud. Yeah, man. It was the doctor was surgical, I guess is the best way I could put it. I mean, it was short and sweet. I think we both were assuming that his opponent, Muslim Salikov, was going to be able to weather the storm. But, man, when you come out the gate blitzkrieging like Uros did, it was only a matter of time, it felt like. And it wasn't even like it was a crazy flurry or anything like that. I mean, just a lean,
9 total strikes,
mean freaking jab that just landed right on the end of it. Like, I think most people are probably getting knocked out by that. But that was a statement, right? I think the doctor went out there and wanted to make a statement. This was that exact statement he needed to make. 2 of his last wins were in TKO. 3, 4. His last 5 wins were all by finish. His 2 losses were even by finish. So judges could take the time off, and the doctor's in there. But again, he's surgical, man, and he's ranked 23 currently. Do I think he earned the right to get a number next to his name and potentially fight a Mike Malott or a Daniel Rodriguez? Honestly, I do. I actually do think he's skilled enough. I do think that was an exciting win. Again, you're already ranked 23rd. Why not give him that nod? But that's too bullish. I think look no further than a Renat Gladiator fought Rednoff. Be an absolute banger of a matchup. But again, Uros is right where he needs to be. Great, dominant win. Wouldn't be surprised if he skyrockets and gets a D-Rod sitting there at 13. But what do you think, brother? Is that too rich for your blood? Or, what do you think's next for the Doc?
I'm not mad at the D-Rod shot at all. I'd be happy with D-Rod. I'd be happy with Colby Covington. But the one I'd be happiest with is probably a proper Mike Malott. I mean, I just think if he's fighting up, this is a guy that, with all due respect to Mike Malott in Canada, shout out Canada, he's hittable. He's beatable. And he's a good matchup for Uros Medic because they're both hittable. They're both beatable. I think it'd be a fight that would play out very well. I think it'd push both fighters to probably have one of their either best or most boring performances. So, yeah, man, I like that matchup a lot. But I'm not mad at the names you shouted also. Alex Pip, what up? What up, Neff? How we doing, brother? Dropping a like and a comment with my end of the night smoke. Hope y'all are staying warm. Congrats on episode 255. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
And yeah, congrats again. Congrats again on the marriage, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Mazel tov, my brother. Yeah, and I'm in Arizona. I am pretty much warm all year round. I think it's finally dropping into the 70s, 60s next week. So looking forward to that, and I'll be sure to bundle up for you, brother. Let's go.
It's doing that thing in San Diego where it's like 50 or 51 at night, and then it's like 82 in the daytime. So we're just like ups and downs.
I'll be getting it all. You're getting all of it in one day. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, we move on into the next one, which I was right about. And I saw some line movement, some fishy stuff here again, boys and girls. We have a lightweight bout between Chris Taco Padilla and Ishmael Bonfim. And man, I got to tell you, again, I saw the line movement, put on my tinfoil hat, and I thought, well, this man missed weight by 6 pounds. All right, 5 pounds over the cutoff, which is just insane. It's like showing up to work without your pants on. Just insane stuff. And then I saw the line shift, and I was like, it's time! All right. So I pulled up my handy dandy app that works in California to sportsbook bet on live, and I hit an additional 5 units on Taco, and I think we already had 1 on him. So basically, 6 units on Taco Padilla turns into 7 units back, essentially. So, no, that's not right. No, that's 6. Hold on.
Hold on here. The math's not mathing.
16 back. I apologize. So we basically cashed big on Taco Padilla. Big winnings on him, even after the line shift movement. And even if there was no weird line shift or no weight miss, I told you guys already. I think Ishmael is the worst Bonfim brother. I think that he's the guy that gets beat up out there more often than not. And we've seen him quit, right? So I thought we'd see that again. We didn't see him quit. We did see him get beat the fuck up, though, by a man named Taco. It wasn't Tuesday, but it did feel like a Taco Tuesday on this Saturday, folks. I mean, just the footwork, the movement, and just the fact that he refused to take a back step, I think was probably the most intimidating thing for Ishmael Bonfim that he faced out there in the octagon on Saturday. He doesn't do well when people don't move backwards in his striking onslaught. And Taco's just not the guy to take a back step. Not fucking ever. Crossover. What's up, brother? How you doing? Had to stop by and holler at the boys, like the stream. Let's go, man. If you guys are not already tuned in and locked in to Crossover MMA, make sure you check out his channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a couple comments on the recent videos. It really helps with the algorithm, and he is definitely one of the true homies. Great guy. And great content, too. So, this fight went pretty much exactly the way that we played it out on the breakdown. So there's not a lot of meat on the bone to start, if I'm being honest. Taco just went out there and did Taco things. I think he's a real fucking problem in the lightweight division, and the worst thing about him is how quickly he's improving, in my opinion. Nano, did you learn anything this fight about Taco Padilla or Ishmael for that fact?
Honestly, yeah, a little bit of both. You know, I think to start with the worst of the two and Ishmael Bonfim, I mean, man, all the hype in the world, his brother's trending in the right direction, and he was a favorite, and then the line shifted after? Is that what or just heavier?
He was a favorite, then the line shifted to a pick'em.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe the weight had to do something with it. I know we were talking about it a few weeks ago.
But it shifted an hour before the fight.
Oof.
Like 2 hours max. So it was a weird one.
It was a bunch of late money.
And we're talking like 150 point shift.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, that is interesting to me. I don't know what they saw that I didn't pick up on, because again, you think Ishmael's going to go out there, look good, and if anyone was going to gas out, you would have thought it'd be the one that was 6 pounds heavier, that maybe had an injury or wasn't able to give it a full go. But that was not the case. Like, Ishmael looked good in that first round. I really liked Chris Taco Padilla's guard and how technically sound he was. Nothing was going to crack him. Nothing was going to do much damage to him. And because of that, because of really sound defense and really just being an absolute gamer, like, it sucks. And with Chris here, I mean, missing by 6 pounds is unacceptable. He's basically literally closer to welterweight at that point than he is as a lightweight. So that's unfortunate for Ishmael. But at the end of the day, he was able to dig deeper, had the better gas tank, was just more violent. And it felt like we kind of saw Ishmael give up a little bit in there. And that's kind of how it ended. Took some big body shots, got taken to the ground, and really just shelled up and didn't have an answer. And the ref gave him every opportunity. Watch the back of the head, fighter, show me something. And as he's demanding more from Ishmael, he gave less. And to me, that was a little bit of him giving up there. I hate to be so harsh, but that's what my eyes saw. and that was it. He lost via TKO because he gassed out in the second round of all places, and he had the full training camp. It's hard to validate that. So for me, Ishmael's dropping down a little bit in my personal rankings. I'll have to see him weather the storm and actually make it through a fight before I can really get back on the hype train. And I do love my tacos. Taco Tuesday out here on Monday, man. I'll be eating tacos all week because of this guy. Shout out Chris Padilla, man. He looked absolutely fantastic. Just get the weight together. I mean, maybe he's a tweener. Maybe something happened, but that's not what pros do. I'm glad you got the W, but can't necessarily reward you, even though obviously you have to fight somebody next. There's a lot of guys floating in that 40 to 50.
Ishmael's the one that missed weight by 6 pounds.
Oh, Ishmael missed it.
Ishmael missed weight by 6 pounds.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, not Taco.
Everything. Okay, that changes everything.
Yeah. So Taco fought a guy that was 5 pounds over the limit.
Oh, shit.
Was closer to the following weight class. And did that to him.
Wow.
It made him quit just like he did before he hit the scale.
Yeah. And for the record, I was golfing all day, so I did not get to see these live or catch up with the live odds and shifting. So that is on me. My apologies. Thank you, brother, for holding me accountable. That changes everything. That makes me hate Ishmael even more. God damn it. What are you doing, brother?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that has to be something there. Maybe it was an injury. Maybe he's having some issues. Maybe he was sick or something to kind of cause the just lackluster showing. But and again, we were talking about it a few weeks ago where I was always of the belief if you're gonna miss weight, maybe you're have a better odds. Maybe you're more likely to win. But no, the bettors and
7 out of 10 times the person that misses weight is the person that wins.
And that's typically a reason. But Matua, you stole the words from my mouth, brother. I do think Beast Boy should be the next opponent.
Threw down a smooth off.
Oh, dude, right off my rocker here, brother. No, I mean that makes more sense, honestly. Hearing that out loud, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense because
Taco's a consummate professional, bro. His nickname may be Taco, but that guy's not eating tacos for the weight cut. I promise you.
Those keto tacos, maybe. With the
keto tacos, baby.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's Chris Taco Padilla is a stud. And he went out there and took all the hype from an Ishmael Bonfim, who, I typically believe if he was going to get the nod to take that step up in competition, give him Beast Boy. He's coming off a win as well. Notable name. You could put them on a main event somewhere, and I'll be tuned in. But that was impressive. I mean, Chris Taco Padilla, just violent, vicious dude. Oh, and he looks good doing it, right? He just has that kind of aura to him. He looks like a guy that just means absolute business.
Have we ever seen him take a step backwards in a fight?
No, I don't. I mean, not yet.
The guy just moves forward like a Terminator, bro.
He's a stud, man. Yeah, he's
scary.
Shots. He keeps the high guard, so he's not taking a ton of damage. He's kind of challenging you. All right, let's see if you could hang on. And Ishmael was not ready for that ride, brother. So shout out Chris Taco versus Beast Boy. That's got a ring to it, don't it? Shout out.
It's got a ring to it. It's got a ring to it. The other names that I had on the tip of my tongue, which I do love, Mike Beast Boy Davis, coming off of he's 1-1 in his last 2, right? But the loss he had was to fucking Faraz Zayam, which most people lose to. And then he came out there and just blasted through Mitch Ramirez in round 2 with a knee, followed up by some punches in round 2, 4 minutes and 8 seconds in. I think that's a good shout. The other 2 names that I was thinking though is Chase the Dream Hooper, coming off of a TKO loss this year to Alexander Hernandez, the great ape. And the other name I have, and I think I've got a weird sneaking suspicion that you guys will all like this one a little bit more. What do you think about Taco versus Drew Dober?
Red Rover. I like it a lot, honestly. I like it a lot. I think it makes a ton of sense.
I mean, if he can walk forward through that, that's a guy, bro.
Yeah.
That's a top 15 guy.
Yeah. No, they both are on a track to go fight one of the, cream of the crop guys in the division. I think that is a great shout. I do like that one a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Tickle my fancy. I
think it's a fun one, man. I think it's a fun one. But again, if we got Mike Beast Boy Davis, fuck, good shout, bro. Good shout, Matua. I ain't mad at it. Speaking of things I ain't mad at, this next fight was not one of them. Because I was wrong again, folks. I picked Marco Tulio. I met him. You know what it is. When I meet somebody, I can't pick against them. I'm pouring it up. I'm pouring up the last shot that I'm doing for being wrong. The only other shots, if I do any more on this show, will be for fun. Okay? Not because of ramifications. What was the Key and Peele skit? Consequences.
Great skit.
Fucking consequences, man. Consequences of picking Marco Tulio. Cheers, folks. Cheers to you, and cheers to us. You know what? We'll do a cheesy one. Cheers to lying, cheating, and stealing, right? If we lie, maybe lie next to a loved one. If we steal, maybe steal from the bookies of Vegas. And if we cheat, maybe cheat death. To lying, cheating, and stealing.
Salute. Well said, brother. It's a great iteration of that one.
I love that one for the show, man. I've got to let my guy Nano take the lead on this one, though. We have a middleweight bout between Christian CLD, Leroy Duncan, coming in against Marco Tulio. Oh, man. Nano, what were your thoughts on this heartbreaking performance for our guy Marco?
I know, brother. Well, I'm not going to lie. I was here talking about I love me some CLD. I knew he was the underdog.
Hey, to be fair, we both like CLD a lot, okay?
We do. And I don't know why I was fading Marco. I just had a feeling, man. I think it just boiled down to the striking, and it boiled down to the violence that Christian Leroy Duncan provides when he's in there. The pressure, all the commentary was saying, oh, wow, we had never seen him fight this aggressive. I think half of that was the fact that he nailed Marco Tulio with a badass spinning back fist, cut him open. And I think that helped him gain a lot of that momentum, a lot of the confidence. And just like a shark in deep waters, man, once you sniff a little blood, you go into attack mode. And that's exactly what we saw. Put the pressure on him, even scored his own takedown during this fight. But really, it was the striking pedigree. Like, it was levels in this game. And yeah, I think Marco is a talented dude, but clearly has some holes when it comes to the striking. He's great on the jiu-jitsu, great in the grappling, big, strong dude. But, man, I don't know that many people that could take those kind of shots from a Christian Leroy Duncan. He looked like an absolute world beater in there. He was having fun. He was flowing. And he put Marco face down, ass up. I was going to make a rude comment about his wife.
You know what's crazy is you're talking about Tulio's jiu-jitsu being like one of his great assets. He has 1 submission win and 10 knockout wins.
Really?
He's a powerhouse when it comes to the hands. He just it just seemed like there was some Predator style steel plating on fucking CLD or some shit, bro.
Yeah, man. I think it's a friendly reminder, man. It's levels in this game. Like, and you can beat a lot of guys in your local circuit and maybe most of the guys on the roster. But once you get to a certain point, you know, the rubber meets the road, and you got to be able to hang on. And yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Marco's not used to being the punching bag, not used to taking that kind of damage. Another spinning. He tried to throw his own spinning back fist at one point, but CLD was all over him, moving well. Like, got another spinning back fist, put him out, and then another 1-2 just to really hit home. Got him once more when he was on the ground. That one was super necessary, as Jorge Masvidal coined. But, man, that was just absolute violence, pillar to post. Christian Leroy Duncan, again, he looked like an absolute world beater out there. I don't know who, if anyone, was going to be able to beat CLD that night, man. Did anything stand out to you, my brother? Amongst his violence and performance of the night, $50K in CLD's bank account now. How'd you feel about this one, brother?
Again, bro, I think first and foremost, great breakdown. You always do such a good job, man. Not a lot of meat left on the bone from you there. CLD he went out there and did exactly what he needed to do. He understood the mission. He ate more shots than he landed, and he ate more significant shots than he landed. But the shots that he was landing, he made sure he was timing very well. And then when he was landing them in combinations. And it really picked up in the second round, didn't it? So, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, as you said, there are levels to this game that we call MMA. And Marco Tulio just got a lesson in that, I think. So it's tough to see as a Marco Tulio fan, but that being said, he took one on the chin, literally and figuratively, and he moves on to see another day. Now, as far as what should be next for CLD, you know, I'm a big proponent fan of fighters fighting each other that are on a similar timeline and trajectory, right? It means they're both healthy or have a similar set or subset of lingering issues, right? If one guy that fought 3 weeks ago is going to fight the guy that fought this week, guess what? They're both coming in with a similar subset of injuries and recovery time. So they have a similar style of training camp or length of training camp at the very least. Now, with all of that jargon being said, I think the golden boy, Edmund Shabazian, makes a whole lot of sense, right? Andre Muniz was his last fight. It was in October on the 4th. So again, just 1 month apart in their fight time. I think they line up really well against each other as well. They're about 5 or 6 slots apart on Tapology as it stands. And from a stylistic standpoint, I don't know who I would choose. I'd have to see the odds. But I tell you this, after that performance, I'd like to think they'd probably give us dog odds on the Golden Boy, and I'd probably take him. Nano, did you have a name on the tip of your tongue? And what do you think of that one?
Well, I did, and you stole it, my brother. We are hive-minded. I love it. I think the style makes the fights, and Edmund Shabazzian is someone that's going to go out there and put on a great show, just like CLD just did. I love that shout. I think it's great. Like you said, they're both trending in the right direction, both coming off wins, both in that 20-ish range. So the winner of that, more than likely, in my book, should get a nod at that top 15er next to their name, get that number to represent how talented they truly are. Feels like the timing's right, and boy, I mean, just thinking of the type of strikes we were going to see in that kind of fight, I mean, that's a no-brainer. I love that. You stole the words right out of my mouth, brother. I love it. Let's go.
Let's go. Les éléments roulés, mon ami. With that being said, we move on into the prelims in a featherweight bout between Hyder Amil and Jamall Emmers. And boys and girls, guess what? Your beloved and trusted host was wrong. I forgot that I was wrong about one fight on the prelims. But I supplemented it with a couple being right on the main card. So that's okay. I'm a man of my word. I'll pour up one last one. You know what I mean? It was a fight between Hyder Amil and Jamall Emmers. And Hyder could not be a more appropriate name because he's going to want to hide her under a rock after that performance, possibly. No, he just looked like he was getting really tired in the second half, that back half of that fight, yeah? He looked really good in the first half, though. Like, it was, you remember the meme with the little football player? I'm not going to lie, they had us in the first half. That was Hyder. Like, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, the first half, I was like, hey, that's money, baby. Let's get it. And it faded. It faded very quickly. So I think he dropped the last rounds, and that's what cost him the fight. Jamall Emmers threw him off guard, threw him off focus, and threw him completely just out of his wits, out of his zone. Jamall Emmers had shot, to my knowledge, and please in the chat, I never mind being corrected, so correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to fact check me on this. He had shot 2, maybe 3 takedowns in his entire UFC career prior to this fight, did Jamall Emmers. He shot 8 in this fight, and he landed 7. You think Hyder was playing for that? You think he was training for that? There's no chance, kid.
Hell no.
Brother. It's like going your whole camp like, I know, Nano, this guy, all he has is a blast left hook. He's going to try and left hook me right from the start. And then the first thing you do is sweep my leg, Cobra Kai style. I'm not going to win that fight no matter how much better than you I am. Because I'm already in my head like, oh God, who is this guy? This isn't the guy I thought I knew. He didn't even hit me with a left hook. He hasn't thrown a left hook at all. It's been 35 seconds. What's happening right now? I'm in quicksand at that point. As soon as that first takedown landed, it was quicksand. And I know you're thinking quicksand like, oh, it's like a comical thing that, I thought I'd face a lot more when I was a child learning about it in books. Quicksand could be a number of things, bro. It's when one thing goes wrong. And so all of a sudden you feel like the more you struggle, everything else goes wrong on top of that. That's exactly what happened after that first takedown landed from Jamall Emmers to Hyder Amil. And I just feel like Hyder Amil was struggling in the quicksand for the rest of the fight. And the other 6 takedowns he stacked on top of that first one, they didn't help. So quicksand it was. That was what I would describe this performance as by Hyder Amil. And if I had to describe Jamall Emmers' game plan, I would say what I usually say about Khabib and Islam Makhachev. It was a systematic drowning. Right? Like I don't think there's a better way to just kind of make an analogy out of what that was. It was a systematic drowning. He took him into the deep waters. He watched him lose his breath, and then he pushed his head under the fucking water. Great performance from Jamall Emmers. I'm going to pour up this shot, and I'm going to pass it to my esteemed co-host here, Nano, because, man, that's all I have to say about it. It was a great performance from Jamall Emmers. Nano, cheers to you, my guy.
Cheers, brother. And I'm drinking sparkling water for a few reasons, but, after last week's episode, I had a little too much dinner, too many $5 bevies, and next thing I know, I was close to pulling a Hyder Amil. Not on the stool, but on the other stool. Brother, you mentioned he looked tired. He was gassed. He was gasping for air.
He was almost puking. In between the second and third.
We've been watching this game for a while. I cannot remember a time where I've seen that. heard that.
Did you hear his coach?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You better get your shit together. You got 5 more minutes of this.
You better fucking shape up, my boy. What is this?
You better pull it the fuck together, kid.
God damn. Have you ever? I mean, seriously, I don't think. Have you ever seen that? I don't know if I've ever seen or heard anything like that.
The closest thing to that I've ever seen is Paddy Pimblett vomiting after a fight in the octagon.
Oh shit! Did he?
He was mid post fight interview and he's like, sorry, mate. Bleh. What was I saying there?
What were you saying? Yeah. What was the question, lad?
And it was like black. He's like, sorry, I had a peanut butter smoothie.
Oh God, I had a peanut butter malt.
I had a chocolate peanut butter smoothie before the fight, mate. It wasn't a good choice.
But it was so good. It was so good.
I'll have to find the clip and send it to you.
Oh my God.
There was that one, and then there's the one of there was a female fighter for Invicta. She was a belt holder. She vomited in the octagon, and then while Laura Sanko was interviewing her, she grabbed Laura Sanko by the hair and kissed her.
Oh God. Oof. Smell that.
With vomit breath.
Yeah, that
Who's get it?
Oh my gosh.
And Sanko just continued with the interview. Total, just consummate professional.
Consummate pro. And Jamall Emmers is the consummate pro as well. He took a nut shot, came back from that, and really just was a downhill battle for Hyder Amil after that, man. I mean, the takedowns, the striking, and we love Hyder and his tenacity, and that was why I was leaning him as well. Obviously, repping the Bay, but also just how vicious he is usually. He was applying a lot of pressure, but really just did not have an answer for the grappling. And Jamall just went out there, took care of business, man. Absolutely dominated, pillar to post. Like I'm gonna keep reminding y'all tonight. It's my slogan of the night, along with rubber meets the road. But yeah, man. I mean, this was a great performance from Jamall. I mean, really telling. Really just. I've never seen that. The heaving and all that just really gave me zero confidence after that first round. That was really Hyder's chance to go out there. Then I kind of knew it was going to have to be a Hail Mary knockout to redeem himself. But he pushed through. He weathered the storm, made it to the decision. So I guess there is some consolation in that. But the win and the guy that gets to continue the momentum and got his hand raised was Jamall. And hell of a bout, Jamall. We see you. That was a great performance, man. I don't know what's next. I'm going to quickly pull up the rankings here. But I don't think, Jamall is necessarily top 15 ready. It's a bit of a big jump there. Now we're talking about how thin some of these divisions are, but featherweight has an absolute murderer's row when it comes to that top 25, top 30. So I don't know if you really rush them in there, but I do like the idea of getting two guys that are coming off wins to go back against each other. Maybe a William Gomes. We did just see him not too long ago. The Jaguar going in there against the Jamall. Just conquer the Hurricane and Hyder Amil. So that can be a good bout, but I don't know how much higher I would go. Besides maybe a Jose Delgado who beat a Hyder Amil as well using a little MMA math, but he lost to Nathaniel Wood. So he's got to be somewhere in that kind of ballpark for Jamall Emmers in terms of his next opponent. What do you think, brother? Is that too high? Do you think a touchy-feely might be better? What are you feeling here for Jamall?
I don't think that's too high at all. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher. Not much, but just a little bit higher. But before I give you the name that I have on the tip of my tongue, my question is, do you think Jamall Emmers has the kryptonite in his hands? Because the name I have is the Korean Superboy. Talking about a Doo-Ho Choi, and you're going to need some kryptonite if you're taking him down. Not everybody can be a Cub Swanson and put on a fight of the year with him. Or not only a fight of the year, but a UFC Hall of Fame fight.
Absolutely.
I think he would push Jamall Emmers to his absolute best. The grappling negation, the striking abilities, the pure boxing that Doo-Ho Choi presents, they could be a fun scrap, man. But I'm also, out of the names that you said, I'll be honest, Touchy-Feely is a really good one. So is Gomes.
Yeah, I like it, man. And all I'll say to your response about Superman is, I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. Let's go. That's right. You know.
That's right. Right. It's not easy to be.
Let's go. Oh, I got a best friend song at least once an episode. Come on, y'all know.
Let's go, brother. Oh man, I'm gonna go watch Smallville after this.
Got to.
With that being said, we move into the bantamweight division, going down to the smaller guys here, and in a fight in which I will have Nano take a shot some other time. Not this episode, maybe not next, probably the one after, because he was wrong on this one and I was right. Look, man, old man strength, bro. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to be the old guy, and I'm always going to be going for the old guy. Raoni Barcelos is not a name that John Anik thought he would say 200 times, and now he's going to probably say it 300 times. The guy's a fucking animal. And like the way that he battles through like wars of attrition, he is the definition of like, you've seen the clip that's going viral from Physical Asia of Robert Whittaker where he's like, I was built for this. I fucking live here.
I live here. Yeah, I was sick. I did see
Dude,
that.
like that's Raoni Barcelos. Like he is that guy. He's like, I was fucking built for this. Like he'll eat your best shot and he'll be like, okay. He'll just like wade forward with his awkward fucking lanky style. And when he throws, I said this in the prediction show, when he throws with such ill intent, bro, venomous with the shots. And he lands at weird angles. And I knew that those weird angles were going to mess up, what did I say? The meat and potatoes, fundamentally sound fighter and Ricky Simón. The fight played out exactly as I said it would. Ricky Simón doing very meat and potato stuff. 1-2, 1-2, 3-4, 2-3-4, 4-2-3. Like, he's doing like fundamental combos. Meanwhile, here's Raoni throwing 3 to 5 shot combos that don't make any fucking sense. And he's lighting them up, bro. He's throwing them from weird angles. He's throwing looping hooks that catch him on the outside. And like, that's how he outworked him, bro. He outworked him. He outlanded him. And he showed him that old don't mean weak. Old don't mean slow. And old sure as fuck don't mean tired. That man went to work out there. He put on a 15-minute war. And it wasn't a clinic, right? Because the striking differential was within 19 of each other. We're talking, 9 of each other for total strikes. 77 to 86 in totality. Significant strikes, we're looking at 67 to 82. So again, out of 86, 82 of them were significant strikes. Out of 77, 67 of them were significant strikes. So much more intent in his striking. Much more ill will and venom when he's landing on the tip of those fucking combos. So, yeah, great job from Raoni Barcelos. Great job from the judges for a change. And I saw your comment, Western. I was surprised no judge had Ricky for the fight. Me too, because usually the judges get it wrong, at least one of them. But all 3 judges actually got it right on Saturday, in my opinion. Nano, what were your thoughts? Do you think the judges got it wrong here? Do you think there's any cries for robbery? Did you think your guy got it done?
Well, you kind of lead into my point there at the end there, brother. Appreciate the alley-oop. It was my guy going into it, so I think I probably had rose-colored glasses thinking, okay, he's doing enough. I thought he might have won the first
In the
round.
same vein, my guy was going against him. So, like, maybe I had rose-colored glasses.
It makes sense. I would not have wanted to be a judge for this fight. That was my one takeaway. It was razor close. They would go back and forth. You know, Ricky, I thought, was winning that first round, but he did get taken down. And it did just feel like overall, WMC, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it just felt like Raoni's punches were a little more meaningful. You know, if they were significant, they're extra significant when it comes to just how much damage they inflicted on his opponent, being Ricky Simón. So, yeah, man, I mean, the judges scored it how they judge it. I thought it was close enough to maybe be a split decision. I thought, Ricky might have did enough to edge it out, but that second round was obviously Raoni's.
Yeah, I thought it came down to the third round. It was 1-1 going into round 3. I thought Ricky won the first round pretty handily. He got more control time. He outlanded him on total strikes and significant strikes. But in round 2, it was very obviously Raoni's round. And in round 3, like if we look at it on a pure numbers basis, right, like 34 to 27 on total and significant strikes and 0-0 on control time. The biggest differential, like again, if we're saying, okay, 27 to 34 is really close, right? Is there another stat we can go to? The only thing we can go to is takedowns. And neither guy landed a takedown, but one guy blocked 3 takedowns and the other guy blocked 1 takedown. So you give it to the guy that blocked 3 takedowns, even if it's a stalemate on strikes, and that was Raoni Barcelos.
Yeah. And he did technically land more strikes. That's this kind of fight definitely makes me wish they had like the live scoring, or at least we had a better idea of how many strikes each fighter was landing, round per round. That would have maybe given me a better inclination that Randy was going to get his
I will
raised.
tell you, I screenshotted it. I don't know if I sent it to you or not. I sent it to the WhatsApp chat with the guys from across the pond. 2 minutes and 36 seconds into, 2 minutes and 24 seconds, because there was 2:36 left, into round number 2. So just about the halfway point, they had both thrown and landed the exact same number of significant strikes.
I like that.
Dead
like
even.
seeing that. Yeah, see, and that's how it felt. It pretty much was dead even. That third round, you got to make a decision, and they all felt Raoni did enough. But I think it was just the overall accumulation of damage that Raoni did. And like you said, brother, he's got that weird, funky style. He almost kind of leans over and kind of favors that right side, but he's throwing those hooks and shots from weird angles. It's hard to replicate that in a training session. I don't know if there's any sparring partners that can really do what Raoni does. So that probably makes him that much of a harder opponent. He's now stacking up wins against guys I didn't think he could win against. So got to tip the cap there. He's a stud. He is turning back the clock here in Father Time. He's typically undefeated, but not when Raoni Barcelos is in the conversation. So shout out Raoni. Love the name. Love the fighting style. Love the tenacity. He's now stacked up 4 wins, 3 in this last calendar year. I mean, what more do you got to do to try to get a ranked opponent? I mean, man, though I'm hesitant to throw him in there against a Marcus McGee or a Kyler Phillips, even a Vinicius Oliveira. But I do think one of those guys, and maybe it's a Kyler Phillips. Actually, no. I mean, he lost to Vinicius, and he still got that ranking. He makes sense, or even a Marcus McGee, closer in age, both also coming off losses. I think either of those guys make sense for Raoni Barcelos. I think he earned it.
I think Raoni Barcelos is more of a young man killer, right? He likes beating the young guys up. He did it to Peyton Talbot. He did it to Ricky Simone. Why not let him try and do it to the surgeon, to the doctor, right? The orthopedic surgeon, to be exact. Dr. David Black Spartan Martinez.
Ooh, that's a banger. That's a banger. I like
Mexico's very own. I think that's a banger of a matchup. I think David Martinez being 13-1 and Raoni being 21-5 will definitely make for a fun little tell of the tape in itself, right? The more than double differential. So I think that's a fun matchup. And I do want to address the comments here, right? WMC said Barcelos' face looked worse. That's why he was surprised that no judge gave Ricky the fight. As I stated in the chat, Ricky landed 85% of his strikes to the head, while Raoni only landed 64% of his strikes to the head. The face tells a third or a fourth of the story, right? So you got to look at control time, which tells a fourth of the story, and you got to look at the legs and the body, and that man was doing work to the body, okay? To the tune of 23% compared to the 13% of his opposition. And 12% of his strikes landed to the leg compared to 1% of the opposition. So he was taking those sea legs out from Ricky Simone, and let me tell you, when you're fighting somebody like Ricky Simone, the first thing you want to do with a powerhouse wrestler that also has really springy movement is deplete that movement. How do you do that? Well, if you've never seen one of the best villains of the 90s and 80s, look no further than Karate Kid 3. Go watch it. Do yourself a favor. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. Terry Silver, great, wise villain, said, if a man can't stand, a man can't fight. You beat the fuck out of those legs, bro. And look, Ricky could still fight, but he fought a little bit worse as a result. Okay. Oh no, you didn't just say Peyton Ocean.
Oh boy.
He said Raoni Barcelos versus Peyton Ocean rematch. That's incredible. That's incredible. That was a razor close fight, all things considered. I agree. That's the thing. Look, WMC, I'm not hard pressed to say that it was not a razor thin fight. It was a razor thin fight, but the right guy won on all 3 judges' scorecards. I don't know what you want. Like, the right guy got it. And in the fight before it, the right gal got it. Right? We're talking about Mayra Bueno Silva versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And it was in the women's bantamweight division. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, I mean, look, she did exactly what she needed to do. Nothing more, nothing less. She looked really good out there, really polished. And she just seemed to be a step ahead, especially where speed and strength are concerned. But Nano, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. What were your thoughts on this fight? What stood out to you the most? And what did you learn, if anything, about Jacqueline Cavalcanti?
Yeah, man. I mean, Jacqueline has some clean striking. That's what I learned. She belongs here. And beating someone like a Mayra Bueno Silva, who I have a lot of respect for, really told me all I needed to see. She was able to stuff the takedown. She was playing bully ball with the bigger, longer, stronger striker. And again, just how clean her combinations were, how she was able to get them off and still be able to get out of harm's way. Because we know Mayra Brenda Silva. I mean, just looking at her, you know she's tough as nails. You know she wants to go out there and be the bully and inflict damage. But every single round, I mean, Jacqueline was leading the dance. She was landing the better strikes, stuffing the takedowns. I mean, it just was a clean performance, man. I mean, almost a flawless victory. I think a statement could have been made if she could have taken out of Mayra Brenda Silva, but she's tough as it gets. So I think that was how it should have went. And I was leaning Mayra just because I have a lot of respect for her. But man, Jacqueline looked clean out there, brother. Represent Portugal. She's gonna be a problem, man. I mean, she definitely earned. Obviously, she already was ranked. So in terms of what's next, I mean, you gotta throw her into the freaking mosh pit here. You gotta see if she can sink or swim with some of these big dogs. I'll say my name here in a second, but brother, what did you learn and what stood out to you on this banger of a matchup?
Well, first and foremost, it was definitely a banger of a matchup. It was a great test for Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Anybody that can get past Mayra Shitara Bueno Silva is an absolute beast. And she did it pretty handily to the tune of 87-46 in total strikes and 80-39 in significant strikes, which for those of you that are bad at math, that's okay. I'll be the numbers guy here. That's a 2-to-1 differential or more, right? So that means for every one strike that Shitara landed, she got hit twice. Significantly and in totality. And then when it came to takedowns, her opposition, Jacqueline Cavalcanti, did not shoot one takedown, which actually surprised me. And she was able to negate not one, not two, not three, but all four of Mayra Bueno Silva's attempted takedowns there. So solid performance for Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I think she is definitely making a name for herself out here, as Gambit would say. And I mean, no matter what's next for her, I can't wait to see it. Because, again, on Saturday...
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Your best Gambit impression.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
As far as if I had to throw a name out there, I'd like to see her go against another surging person. Not undefeated. Right, she does have 2 losses on her docket at 12-2, but Nano, I want to see her fight the princess from Shrek, man. I'm talking about a Fiona, I'm talking about an Eileen Perez. I think that's a fun matchup, and I think the winner of that gets a top 5 or a contender fight. What are your thoughts?
I like that one a lot, brother. I had the same name circled. I think Eileen Perez definitely makes sense. Coming off a win, like you said, I like that idea of getting them closer to getting to the top. And maybe she could jump her. You know, maybe it makes you Shazam, who is going to want to get that bad loss, that bad taste out of her mouth earlier in October. Irene Aldana looks interesting, but she hasn't fought since September of 2024. So that's a full calendar year we have not seen at NA. Not sure what's going on there, but you know she's going to want to be chomping at the bit and getting in there sooner rather than later. I don't know if Jacqueline called anyone out. I don't think she did, but those 2 names certainly. And if I'm being honest, maybe it's a little too bullish, but even Yana Santos. I mean, like I said, throw her in there, see what she can do.
Yana Santos is a fun shout.
I mean, man, stylistically, we're going to see some great striking, and that would be a true litmus test for a Jacqueline Cavalcanti at this stage in her career. Love to see it, but that's too bullish for y'all. Maybe Dana Weinbrash want to see a little bit more of a closer rank fight. Then Eileen Perez is the no-brainer, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and again, if you want to be more bullish, right? Maybe we give her like a Raquel Pennington.
Ooh,
it's another good shout. She's coming off a loss.
That makes sense. She's gonna want to
get
out
only
there.
3 ranks ahead of her on Tapology. So,
man, and Jacqueline,
dollars and cents.
Yeah, no, it does. And I'll just say, like stylistically, like she's a issue for a lot of these girls in this division. She's big,
she's so
strong,
fast,
and talented, and she's got the speed, dude. Speed
so
kills.
fast. I want to go back to this comment here. WMC said, I completely agree. Barcelos earned the W, but it was so close. I agree with that. I agree. This was probably the closest fight on the card was that Barcelos and Ricky Simón fight. But the thing that upsets me the most, like the judges gave the right guys the win, right? But Dana did not give the right guys the bonus. So we had Gabriel Bonfim, CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan, and Zach Reese, who got bonuses. And I don't disagree. All 3 of those guys deserve bonuses, right? But I think they should have handed out a fight of the night bonus to both of these guys. Like, they both went out there and bled. They both went to war. They ate the shots. And, I mean, sorry, I'll let you go here.
Go ahead. Or, no, I mean, I agree. I agree, brother.
yeah, I mean, like, it was the best fight of the night, bro. Like, it had me on my feet. I was cheering. I was screaming. Like, it was a good-ass fight. So, these guys deserve to get a little bump in pay, especially Raoni Barcelos. That guy is a fucking stud, and he always puts on for the company. Speaking of a real company, man, we have a Josh Hokit versus Max Greminis fight. And, look, we all knew how this was going. All right, we knew that Max was going to go out there and play cannon fodder, and that Josh Hokit was going to go out there and give us probably one of the worst or best worst post-fight speeches we've ever heard. He did his best Chael Sonnen impression, tried to get the mannerisms down, but instead he came off a little bit more Hulk Hogan-esque. And I don't know that that's super likable, but good call out from him. Great performance. Again, Max Jimenez was lamb to the slaughter in this one, unfortunately, for the UFC machine, the money machine. They're trying to build this guy. The heavyweight very, very desperately needs an injection of talent. And Josh Hokit, former NFL guy, might be exactly what they're looking for. So he does a very bad Chael Sonnen impression and then calls out Walter Walker. The only thing he replaced in the Chael Sonnen speech was the Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. And he replaced it with Walter Walker, you absolutely suck. And I mean, honestly, if Walter's game for it, fuck it, give it to him, man. Let him get heel hooked. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
What were your thoughts on the fight, Nano, and the call out as well? Do you have any kind of raising of the hand to say no to that?
Only in the scenario that Walter Walker maybe Walters his way up higher in the rankings. I don't know if he would be so willing to, go up against someone that's not ranked yet and just has one impressive, but only one win in the UFC thus far. Though he just fought someone that was making his UFC debut. So maybe that kind of aligns with what you're saying. I don't hate it. Honestly, love to see someone come in there and try to keep their heel from getting hooked. Let's be real. But yeah, I mean, listen, man, Josh Hokit went out there and did a how do you get kind of a KO victory over his fellow opponent. But I mean, the athleticism was there, the speed was there, and that's why we love these big boys fighting, man. All it takes is one shot to change up the game, and that was exactly what happened. A few more, just icing on the cake, but completely took out his opponent, unconscious, folded like a lawn chair. It's bad when you see the knees bending and he's all discombobulated. It was a hell of a knockout. Probably the best football fighter to transition over thus far. It's a short list: Austin Lane and Greg Hardy. So, not necessarily the best of company there in a Greg Hardy specifically, but man, Josh Hokit, nasty KO victory. Got to give the credit where it's due. And yeah, to your point, I was gonna make them the comment that that post-fight speech was somewhere in between a Chael Sonnen and a quadruple C. I'm talking about a Henry triple C, aka Mr. Cringe. Leaning more on the cringe side for sure. But hey, I love the attempt. I mean, you got to do something to make yourself stand out. Fellow American want to get out there and channel a little bit of WWE. Maybe that's what he was also testing for, to see if he has that kind of pull. But I didn't hate it. I thought it was something fun that, again, you want to make a name for yourself and you want to add to the flair. And hey, you just got a huge knockout win. By all means, boo-boo, do what you want to do. But a little bit more on the cringe side, if I'm being honest. But hey, I don't mind it. And WMC here trying to play matchmaker. Okay, I see Josh Hokit against Delija.
I'm not mad at that.
Definitely makes sense as well.
Andre Delija is a solid shout.
Delija and Walter Walker's, I think, a great name.
Or Ante Delija, sorry.
Yeah, and Ante Delija, and even Taliesin Teixeira. He hasn't fought since that loss to Derek Hotballs. He's kind of a newcomer. That also makes sense as well in my book. I wouldn't be mad at either one of those.
I had two other names on the tip of my tongue, if you'll entertain them. Mick Packen coming off a loss here.
I like it.
To Marcin Tybura. And other than that, we have an undefeated Phenom, 11-0, most recently coming off of a win over Leonardo Diniz. I'm talking about a Mario Pinto Beans. I just think that's a fun bout, man. And if Hokit can get past the Mario Pinto, then he's definitely a top 15 fighter.
I like that a lot, actually. WMC, close your ears. I do think that Mario Pinto would be a great shout, man. He's a stud. Boy, I mean, that one is going to be an absolute banger if it gets matched up. I would love to see that.
Oh, I like this one too, WMC. I also want to see Waldo fight Tom. Ghana can run it back with Volkov, in my opinion. I agree. Let Ghana run it back with Volkov. Volkov deserved the shot more than him anyways, and Waldo has definitely earned that Salsa Boy title shot, baby. Let's get it, and let's move on into this strawweight bout between these two ladies. It is Tisha Pennington Torres coming in against Denis Gomes. Nano, I'll take the lead on it, and this will be the shortest breakdown I've ever given. I'm just going to say the fight went exactly as I predicted it would, man. I thought that Tisha would look really well with the distance strikes. I thought that she'd look to keep the range and that she'd do her very best to defend the takedowns. But when you're getting 10 takedowns attempted against you in a matter of 15 minutes, at best, you're probably going to defend 7 of them. And that's exactly what she did. She got taken down, she got controlled, she got beat up. And even though she got taken down 3 times, she did really well. 73 to 75 total strikes landed and 53 to 58 significant strikes landed. The significant strikes were actually in favor of Tisha Pennington Torres. I thought it'd be a close bout, but I thought that Denise would probably put on one of her more boring fights and get the win. Folks, color me shocked. She did exactly that. Nano, what were your thoughts? Did you learn anything new about Denise Gomes, or did she beat an aging legend?
I think it's exactly that, right? I think if we turn back the clock a little bit, Tisha Pennington in her true Tisha Pennington days might have been a different story, but it was, stylistically, it leaned Denis Gomes. She has more tools in the toolbox when it comes to the grappling, the jiu-jitsu, and just the heavy hands. Like, I felt like that was what was going to happen, like you mentioned as well, brother. But you got to give Tisha Pennington her credit as well. I mean, she was able to land 73 total strikes to Denise's 75, but it was the takedowns, it was the grappling that was the deciding factor here. And round over round, I mean, technically Tisha did outland her opponent in the first 2, but again, you're getting taken down, stuffed all 4 of the takedowns in the second round. Maybe you do want to reward Tisha that round, so it wasn't a complete landslide. Maybe it was a 29-28 decision victory here. It's probably how I would have labeled it if I want to be fair and just take it as a round per round basis. She outstruck her again, stuff for the takedowns, but then the third round, Denise got right back on the horse, proved how much of a gas tank she has. I mean, it is not easy to even attempt 10 takedowns during a 15-minute fight, let alone landing some of those and really making them count, right? The control time and the damage she was doing just, for me, was too much to deny Denis Gomes that victory. So she earned it. She's now sitting, I don't think they updated yet, but Denis Gomes is 15, Tisha's 13. So even if they were to swap, I like an Amanda Hebos. I like a Jessica Andrade. 2 names, 2 savvy veterans that have been in the UFC spotlight for quite some time. I think that's a good next step for Denis Gomes. See her beat one of those 2 still in their prime type fighters. Jessica Andrade, you could argue, definitely maybe on the back 9, but I mean, even just body type and everything, I think Jessica Andrade and Denise match up really well, but her or Amanda Hebus or anyone in the top 10, I think, is next for Mrs. Gomes. What do you think, brother?
I think Denise Gomes matches up against a lot of these girls very well. I'm not mad at the Hebus shout. I think Hebus is a really good shout, and I also think Baby Shark tap at the reach, he's a good shout. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like those are the 2 most logical names in the Division 4 right now as far as trajectory, style points, names, etc., what have you. And I'll be honest, man, with that performance, I'd probably take Denise Gomes over at least one of those 2 fighters. I won't tell you which one, but at least one of them. With that being said, Nano, let's move into the bantamweight division for a bout between 2 grown-ass men. We're talking about a Miles El Chapo Johns coming in against Daniel Marcos. And look, man, I like Miles Johns. I really do. I really do. I thought he would do better than he did. But I also did pick Daniel Marcos to win. I don't know, man. I think Miles Johns has unfortunately peaked or plateaued in his MMA duration. He doesn't really seem to be showing a lot of improvements in what we've seen in the last 2 to 3 fights from him. And unfortunately, play of the cards, right? He got stacked against the Daniel Marcos, who's the exact opposite at 18-1. He is someone who is improving every single time he makes that walk at an exponential rate. And we saw it again. The footwork was really a big component of this fight. The way that he was able to dash out of range of Miles Johns. And if you've ever been in a fight, whether it's inside of a cage or inside of the street, you know that when you swing and hit, it costs 50% or less energy than when you swing and miss. And he was making Miles Johns miss an awful lot, right? To the tune of 46% of the time he was throwing, he was missing. That's almost half the time. So he threw 61 strikes and he only landed 33. He attempted 54 significant strikes and landed 28. Meanwhile, across from him, his opponent landed at a 60.9% accuracy rate, right? So 42 out of 69 strikes landed, 27 out of 47 significant strikes landed, and that is a significant strike differential of 57.5% to 51.9%. So again, really solid stuff from Daniel Marcos. It was the difference between someone with a Desert Eagle Beretta and a 50 cal sniper, right? Like the one guy was taking his time, locking, loading, holding his breath in between every strike so that way he knows he's going to land right on the fucking target like a sniper trained would do. And the other guy was just haphazardly just unloading shots, hoping a couple landed and knowing that if they did, he was going to inflict damage on his opponent. It was just a matter of how much. Daniel Marcos, obviously the smarter, higher fight IQ driven fighter here, and it showed. Gets the win at the UFC Apex, the world's most famous UFC Apex arena. And I couldn't be more happy for Daniel Marcos, but I am sad for my guy, Miles El Chapo Johns. And for that, folks, we do the last show of the night. Cheers to you. Cheers to us. If you haven't already done it, what are you doing, folks? Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. And if you're drinking, drink with us. Looking at you, WMC. Cheers.
Hell yeah. Sip that cocktail, WMC. We appreciate you. And if you don't want to drink on a school night, then you know what? Sip on a LaCroix, just like me. It's all good. But yeah, man, I mean, this was a fun one. Coming into it, felt like Daniel Marcos had all the tools. I love the heat that was leading up to Daniel Marcos. Brings that edge. You know, I don't think he makes a lot of friends on the UFC roster, or at least his opponents. You're not seeing them hugging after. Going head to head, though, as they meet in the middle of the octagon, you know, pre-fight. That just got me even more hyped up for it. But as aggressive as Daniel is, I felt like he was really methodical. I think that might have even just been a little bit of a tactic to get Miles John, aka El Chapo, off his game a little bit, get him uncharacteristically moving forward, or somebody just falling for the traps. And that's exactly what we saw. Taking him down, pummeling him, landed one takedown in that first round, and then really piled on the 2 out of 3 takedown attempts Daniel Marcos did in that second round, which led to the submission. I just think the pressure, I think the gamesmanship and the aggressiveness and just making it nasty, right? I mean, for lack of a better phrase, I love someone that comes in there, and I love the respect, and I love when people are, you know, can potentially be friends after, but it just feels like Daniel Marcos is in there just not here to make friends. He's here to make violence and put on a good show and get the submission wins, and that's what he did, man. So tip my cap to Daniel Marcos. Has a great tenure in the UFC thus far. His only loss was to a Montel Quick Jackson, 18-1 record. So other than that, I mean, you're looking at someone that's going out there and beating his opponents and doing it.
And aside from that 18-1 record, he also wears one size larger glove than Francis Ngannou at bantamweight.
Really? Oh, well, Quick, right? Don Montel?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, those big
Can't really discredit that loss.
You can't. You simply can't, especially if you're going to go out there and do something like this in your last victory. But I wonder if we throw him in there against someone that also has some savvy submission wins himself. I'm talking about look no further than Mr. Air Charles Jourdain. Back-to-back with, just fought recently. Didn't take a lot of damage. I'd love to see that bout. 17-8 record. Why not, right? Why not? I mean, that's one matchup that can certainly allow both these guys to potentially get a top 15 or next. So give me Charles Air Jourdain. Who do you think's next for him, brother? And how do you like that matchup?
I like Air Jourdain. I had the 2 names below him on Tapology listed in my name. So I had Ricky Simon, who's coming off a loss on this very same card. Trajectory-wise, makes a lot of sense. He's 1 rank above him on Tapology, so not really, you know, reinventing the light bulb here or the wheel, mind you. But it's a logical matchup. And then other than that, this one I just think would be fun and it makes sense. And that's a Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell.
I love that shout.
Daniel Marcos versus Thug Nasty is just a match made in heaven as far as MMA fans eating when it comes to watching a great fight. And then outside of that, I did have a third name, just an honorable mention shout if we wanted to really climb up the rankings. He's sitting at number 16, so he's right outside that 15 echelon. But he's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses this year and last year. You know I'm talking about a Kyler the Matrix Phillips. And that, I think, is just another inevitably fun fight for Daniel Marcos. Both guys have really, really high fight IQ. Both guys like to slip and rip in the pocket, and both guys know how to actually cut angles and create range and distance. So I think from a stylistic standpoint, it would be a very, very evenly matched fight. And with Kyler Phillips coming off of 2 losses and Daniel Marcos being where he is, I mean, it's hard, right? Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think it'd be a fun fight.
I like it. I really think he deserves it. I mean, again, great record, only 1 blemish. Kyler is still at least ranked here as of today, number 14. So that would be a great nod.
And shout out WMC, just calling the facts here. If any chicks are watching, they're definitely into Nano's biceps. I mean, if you're lying, you're dying, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that, WMC. And for the record, it was arm day, so they might be a little bit more juicy than normal. But if you're listening to this and you're a mamacita out there, I am married, but make sure you like, subscribe still, and comment. Let me know how you're feeling about it.
Let's go. Keep it respectful. Speaking of keeping it respectful, our guy in the catchweight bout to start off the whole shebang bang. Your Man Crush Monday every Monday. We're talking about a Zachary Reese coming in here, staying in the win column against a Jackson Jesus McVeigh. Come on. It's Zachary Reese all day. Nano, I would be remiss if I didn't give you the lead on this one. Tell us what you thought of this fight, watching your guy sail into the sunset of victory.
Oh, my
with
brother.
That round 2 sub.
The round 2 sub was beautiful. The Savage went Savage mode there. Zachary Reese, man, huge shout out, taking this fight on days' notice, less than a week. I think my one takeaway is
4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
That's, I was going to do quick math. Was it 72 hours? No, 96 hours?
Yep.
Either way, man, that's less than 100 hours here to accept the fight, book the plane to Vegas, get out there, whoop some ass, collect a check, and keep it moving, man. That was absolutely, I was ecstatic, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. It was not all peaches and cream. It was not a smooth, newly paved road, as I've mentioned earlier. He had to go through some adversity. There was some controversy, not necessarily because of the nut shot, but just he got cut early. Jason McKee looked like someone that had a full camp. The tools were sharp. He was landing and hitting Zachary Reese with some really, really good shots, but Zach was able to dig deep, man. And I think there's something to the fact that he didn't go through a full training camp. Maybe he was able to weather that storm a little bit easier and just rely on some of the raw skills. And yeah, maybe you don't have a huge game plan or anything like that, but sometimes you just need to go out there and be the tougher guy. And that's exactly what he was that night. I mean, he landed strikes when he needed to, but I think my big takeaway was Zach is a freaking dog. He was able to weather the storm. And if you're Jason McKee, or Jackson McVeigh, geez, totally butchered that. My apologies, brother. Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's hard to feel bad with that loss. I mean, he looked absolutely great in that first round. Landed more punches than Zachary Reese did. Even got a reversal. But maybe there is something that goes to show about the ground game and what we saw in that second round. I mean, Zach really just took the training wheels off and got the job done. Landed 20 strikes to Jackson's 3 in that second round. Landed a couple takedowns. And again, all it takes is one simple mistake. Those are the ones that eat you, keep you up at night. But Jackson's going to sleep good knowing that he made a good showing, let out the card, took this opponent on short notice as well. That is also a hindrance to him, right? You're training for 8 weeks for a specific style. You're drilling in these specific combos. And then everything gets, thrown out the door, and you just get put in there with a literal savage. It's in the name. So big shout out to Zach, man. I think the lack of training camp might have helped someone like him, just fresh. Go out there, rely on your skills. Don't worry about it. Just go be an athlete. And you got the job done, brother. So way to seize the opportunity, seize the moment. And, man, Mr. Reese's Pieces, brother. I'm so ecstatic. I mean, I'm knocking on the table here underneath me, man, just thinking about it. But great performance and way to weather the storm, man, and get over that adversity. How did you feel about it, brother?
Man, I thought it was a great showing on 96 Hours and great job on the quick maths. Yeah, I mean, Zach Reese stepped in on short notice and stepped up on big notice to take on Jackson Jesus McVeigh. I'm calling him that. That's not his actual nickname. I just think he looks like Jesus. 68 to 81 on total strikes, 56 to 32 on significant strikes. I think 3 of those were nut shots, though. Those significant strikes from Jackson McVeigh. He was definitely not doing a great job from a staying on the rules perspective, right? And I just want to pull this up real quick. No, you said controversy weird. For your information. I let him know it was on purpose. It's an inside joke about how they say it in the UK. Controversy. There's controversy on this card.
Absolutely. And if you know me, WMC, any chance I get to, butcher a word in a silly manner, like jalapenos, why not?
We're doing it.
Life's about being silly sometimes. So take some chances, say some funny shit. It'll get a reaction. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, brother.
That was
and if you're at the dollar store and you see a nice little yard gnome, make sure you pick that up. You know what I'm saying? My guy, brother, controversy. And if you don't like the controversy, you can park that complaint in the garage. My guy.
Well said.
With that being said, Zachary Reese definitely went out there, showed up, and showed out on 4 days' notice. Jackson McVeigh, he did what he could, but it was not enough, right? He went 0 for 0 on takedowns. He didn't even try to get a takedown attempt. And Zachary Reese, was this not a career high, but a UFC high for him on takedowns? Landed in a UFC fight, I think. So 3 for 3 on his takedowns. For those of you, again, that are bad at math, don't worry, I got you. That's 100% takedown accuracy. Solid stuff, bro. Solid stuff. He ends up inevitably getting the submission win, and I know you couldn't be happier about it. Zachary the Savage Reese staying in the win column. He is now on a technically 2-fight win streak if you discredit the no contest against Cedric Dumas, right? The RNC is dangerous from him. I don't know how he does against the upper echelon of fighters in this weight class, though, right?
I agree. We've seen him lose. Let's call it what it is. I love Zach, but he's not undefeated. We have. And he usually fights at middleweight, I believe. So let's see here. What is the trajectory from middleweight here? Oh, I have a name. I don't know that you'll like it. It's quite a step up. Yeah, I have two names. Okay, so low end, I'm going to say Andre Petrosky. I like it.
That's the one I like more. And then from a growth perspective, you give him the Iron Turtle, Jun Young Park.
Ooh. Yeah, see, those are both notable names coming off a notable win here for Zachary Reese. I absolutely do love that. Stylistically, those matchups are tough, but that's what it's all about. You got to test yourself. He's willing to answer the bell. We learned that this last Saturday. And I'm going to say a name, but it's like, man, it's not giving my boy any favors. In fact, this is probably the worst case scenario for him, being Zachary Reese. But this guy needs to continue to earn victories against like level and game opponents if he's going to make a shot for the title like he so claims. I'm talking about someone that did score off against Alex Bejeda. That is his training partner. I'm talking about the babyface assassin, Uros Belgari. I don't think that's how you say it, but I just want to say it fancy because he's in France. Belgaroui, Au revoir is what I would say to my boy Zach Reese, because that is not a good matchup, but that makes sense on paper. If they're not gonna give him one of the notable names, a staple in the division, as you put out there, I think the babyface assassin is gonna be looking to get in there sooner rather than later.
And yeah, I believe it's Uros Belgaroui.
See, that's how much French I know. Shout out to the boy. Shout out to the Louisiana boy over here for correcting me. Thank you, brother.
I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, I would say it's Belgaroui. It could be Belgaroui, based on the I at the end, but there's dependent on how they pronounce that, whether it's soft or hard I. So yeah, I mean, either way, Yusri I think is probably a good shout, and he's another up and comer, right? He's 4-0 in his last 4, 3 of which coming by way of TKO win. Dude's a beast, right? He's one of these guys that collected those losses early in his professional duration and then just decided, I don't think I'm going to do that again. Oh, by the way, Nano, not sure if you even know this about the guy you recommended. His last loss was to Marco Tullio pre-UFC.
Oh, okay.
He's a guy, bro. He's a
dude. He's a
dude.
And Zach, I think, has earned the opportunity to fight any of these guys. Big name, trend in the right direction. And Zach's game, he's not going to say no. He took this on 4 days' notice. I reckon he has more time. He'll be just fine. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. And with that being said, we got to move into our bets here. Let me open up the bets tab.
Yes.
Let's see here.
Magic was made, y'all. And this guy, MMAnomaly, quick shout out, man. Back-to-back weeks, turning one to many units here. Swinging a hot bat, brother. I mean, tell the people, man, what have you been seeing? What do you think it is here, brother?
I'm just making the reads, man. Like you look at fight statistics and like, make no mistake about it. There is no clean cut answer to this. Like betting on mixed martial arts is the most volatile betting in the world, but there are stats, there are tells, there are reads that you can make. And a lot of times if you have a very durable guy against a very durable guy and neither of them have one shot knockout power, probably going to go to the distance. Or at the very least, going to go over 2.5 rounds. So the overs and unders are a really, really good look. And that's something that paid big dividends for us this week. So we had a 5-pick parlay on unders and overs. And we wagered 1 unit to turn into 9 units or just shy. And I'm going to go over those over-unders with you right now. So we had Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown, under 2.5 rounds. Chris Padilla versus Ishmael Bonfim, under 2.5 rounds. Ricky Simone versus Raoni Barcelos, over 2.5 rounds. And last but not least, Mayra Bueno Silva versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti, over 2.5 rounds. And Tisha Pennington versus Denis Gomes, over 2.5 rounds. Like, let's just call a spade here. When we're talking about lower weight classes, everything from women's strawweight up to men's bantamweight, there is a very low probability that someone is going to get knocked out in one shot or even a multi-shot combo. So the overs typically hit. Flyweight overs is something that is an underrated gem, in my opinion. So just looking at those bets, it makes a lot of sense. And then outside of that, we hit on a couple of other ones, right? Like we doubled down on the 2-pick parlay. We did under 2.5 rounds on Gabriel Bonfim and Randy Brown, and we did under 2.5 rounds on Chris Padilla. We turned a half unit into 2 full units on that one. And then we did a 3-pick parlay on, again, 3 overs, basically the same 3 overs that I mentioned in that 5-leg parlay. So we tripled down on those, right? We segmented them into one big 5-leg parlay, which we thought would cash. And then worst case scenario, if that doesn't cash, is the over on 3 or the under on 2 is going to cash. So we placed it segmented, and then we also did a unit on Taco, which turned it just a little under 2, and then, just a little over 2. And then we did a 5-unit bet on Taco that turned into just a little over 10 units. So all in all, we are up this week almost 20 units. Again, back-to-back weeks. Last week we were up over 20 units. So before this week started, we were up 28 units. I have to do the math still, but I believe we are up 50 units or 51 units this week, or as of the year. So again, we are tracking this all throughout the year. We will do it again next year. We'll start fresh at 0, and we'll just be putting in fresh money, and we'll count our winnings really at the bank, hopefully. And we really hope from this show, we're not giving betting advice, right? We always say only bet money you're willing to lose. But if we can help you win some money and stack some fucking pennies for a rainy day, as we say, brother, sister, we're all about it. We're all about it. And speaking of brother, what's up, Juice Man? How you doing, man? What's up, players? Sorry I'm late. Oh, don't be sorry. Be happy, my guy.
Better late than
happy.
never.
Hope everyone is good, bro. We are extremely good. I told myself I had already done the last one, but Juice, you don't always show up. So since you did, we'll do one last one with you.
Let's do it. And yeah, and I think that was my takeaway with this week is, if you're willing, and obviously, do it with money you're okay with losing. But the bets I hit weren't even necessarily on a specific fighter to win. It was over and under 1.5, 2.5, under 2.5. Like, that's what stood out to me, is that we didn't need to actually choose a fighter. We've been doing our cycle parlays and different things. And maybe you are torn about who's going to do what. But hey, heavyweight fight, probably going to be under 1.5. Like, there's some reads you could look into, and you don't even have to choose a fighter to do it. So I love the fact that it was on over-unders and not even on specific fighters to win. It's many ways to make money, y'all. Let's go.
And that's the thing is, like, if you don't have a ton of units to bet, you've got to be a little bit more ballsy and bullish with your bets, right? Like, if you're only betting $1 or $2.50, whatever the hell your unit size is at this point in time, it's going to grow as long as you win, right? But it's about winning today. So with those small units, I always tell people, like, you gotta live in the realm of parlays, because you're not going to really stack those pennies on these volatile bets, especially finding out that some of them might be fixed, right? Betting on the overs and unders, like, again, our biggest win was Chris Padilla, 5 units into 10. Our biggest win, though, was 1 unit into 9. Right? 5 into 10, 2 extra money. Awesome. 1 into 9, again, if you're bad at math, I got you. 9 extra money. 9's better than 2, in my opinion. And I'll say that, I'll die on that hill. So, 5-leg parlay on overs and unders, not even having to pick a winner on any of those picks. Come on, folks. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to be doing it again. We'll be giving you our picks for 322. Maybe they'll hit. Maybe they won't. Maybe you'll have better picks than us. Either way, we fucking hope, for fuck's sake, that you'll tell us in the chat so that we can tell you if they're good. And folks, if you're drinking, drink with us. Cheers to you. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. Let's keep it going.
Salud. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. And seriously, let us know. UFC 322 coming up this next week. We'll be breaking it down. Shout out Juice Man. But put those bets in. Let us know in the comment section. We'll tail you. And if we hit, we'll let you know. We'll post it on here. And if not, we'll still let you know. We appreciate it all. And I'm talking to you, Dix Insider. We want to tail you, Mr. Hot Bat over there. So we appreciate you. And let's make it a community here and do what we do. And let's make sure if one of us are eating, we all eating.
Absolutely, man. When we eat, you eat, and hopefully vice versa, man. Life's a potluck, and we're hoping to invite you guys to our potluck for the rest of life. So, folks, we hope you cast your bets on UFC Vegas 311 at the world's most famous Apex arena, and we can't wait to talk to you tomorrow afternoon about UFC 322. It will be an earlier show, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you know we're going live. We're going to pin down a time after this, and folks, if you do none of the things we've asked you to do, that's fine too, as long as you do these next 2 things. And that is this. We ask that you keep on going, and we ask that you keep on growing, folks. And we really hope to see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.